Hey everybody, welcome back. So today I want to talk about two things which I normally never would talk about in the same breath. Um, so let's talk about beer and death rates, equally important today. So first thing, what should we do first? Probably beer first, right? Um, so today I ordered some beer and I found a place that'll deliver beer, which I thought it was great, right? I'll get my beer delivered. I won't have to go out shopping in public, and yeah, that'd be great. So I got the beer came in same day delivery, fantastic. It was free delivery, even better, and it came to the door, and I saw it on the cameras. So just like the FedEx guy, I thought, okay, they're going to drop the beer, then they're going to leave, then I'll wait a few minutes, then I'll go outside and I'll pick it up, and I'll be on my way. And that was the plan, and yeah, it was working pretty good until they left and then my beer left with them. So I couldn't understand what was going on there. But I guess they wanted to see my ID to make sure I was old enough to drink, which I don't get because in most places in North America, you can get guns and ammo dropped at the door, but beer you can't. So whatever. So anyway, I had to email them my ID, and they were good with that. So I'll get some beer delivered to the door tomorrow. So I've never done that before. So that's something new for me. So that's the beer part of the story. That's the happy part of the story, if you call that happy. I think the second part we want to talk about is death rates. And this is less happy because what we see out there right now is, let's see, we got 37,686 on the clock right now. Most of those are in Italy, 11,500 in Italy. So I think people are not necessarily thinking about the numbers right now, right? So what's that, 10% case fatality rate in Italy, it looks like, which is extremely high, like amazingly high, right? Go do the research yourself. Don't take my word for it, but go take a look at that. Italy is just a mess, right? So it makes you want to think about the numbers. And I'm in North America, so I'm thinking, well, North America, we're very modern, we're younger generation, demographics are younger in general. We don't have family units that all live together. We got all these things that I see in the news that say we're going to be fine, right? And we see the big ship cruising into New York City. I think that's probably a good idea because they're going to need some beds. And we see signs like that make you want to really believe things are going to work out pretty good. And yeah, I think ultimately they will. We'll get through this like we get through everything else. But when we say death rates are going up because we're doing more testing, I don't really understand that. And if you do, let me know. Put it in the details below. Because when I do the math on this, right, they say, well, death rates are going up because we're doing more testing. Well, okay. Like, I was never good at math in school. Okay, I'll just tell you that right now. And fractions, I was even worse at those. Okay, but if you say you're testing more, isn't that's the denominator, right? So that number should be getting bigger, and then that would make your overall fraction smaller, right? So if you're doing a whole bunch more testing, that's the number down here, and you're because this is a division thing that you're doing, right? So the case fatality ratio should be smaller, right? If you're doing more testing. If you're getting all these testing done, 80% of those people don't even have to go to the hospital. They have mild symptoms, all good. Case fatality should be small. Like, we should be seeing less deaths, I would think, right? But everybody's saying, oh, you're seeing more deaths because we're testing more. What? Really? Show me the math on that, because I just don't get it. I would think more testing would dilute the waters and would give us more better numbers, but I see it still shooting up day after day. So yeah, so somebody can explain that to me, that'd be great. So I think the numbers are going up. I think that the case fatality rate or case mortality rate, rather, what I'm talking about there is the number of deaths by number of people infected. That's the equation. It's not the total population underneath the number of people that die. So that's a different equation and less interesting in my opinion. But that's, I think, what the World Health Organization and other people were first using. So yeah, so that's the first bit of confusion I have about these death rates. The second thing that I'm really worried about is that these numbers are right now should be not too bad, right? I mean, this is the best stage of this whole thing, right? Because it hasn't, I mean, it's getting out of control. It is terrible, but it's going to get way worse, right? When you think about it, it's going to get way worse. That's why, I'm really paranoid, and I've been paranoid for a couple months. I think I don't know other people are as paranoid as I am, but when we look at what's about to happen, right? The hospitals are going to get overrun, obviously, right? So, and that's not going to take very long to do because they're already maxed out. Our poor healthcare professionals are totally maxed out already. They're very busy. We don't have enough people in that industry, as far as I'm aware. I might be wrong on that. Actually, don't quote me on that. It just seems like we don't have enough people in that industry. Maybe we do, but it seems like hospitals are always running pretty tight, right? And maybe that's strictly budget, but whatever it is, it just seems like they're pretty tight. So if we do some more math, and again, I'm not good at math, but and please correct me if I'm wrong here, but if we say 20% of the people will need to go to the hospital, that's a pretty big number. 5% of those people need ventilators, right? That's a lot. That's a lot of people. Very quickly, hospitals are going to get jammed up, like unbelievably quickly. And that hospital experience when you go there is not going to be a good one. So if you're not sick going in, you're sick coming out because the doctors will be sick, right? When we take a look at what that's going to look like, imagine that, right? Like a lot of the doctors are going to get sick. When we see Italy, when we look at China, healthcare providers were getting sick, hand over fist. They were dying a lot, right? How long does it take to become a surgeon? A long time. So long, most people would not want to do it, right? Costs a lot of money, takes a long time, and then you have to get all the experience. So if we lose a bunch of those, that's not going to be good, right? So that's kind of the personnel side of it, right? So hospitals will get jammed up just due to capacity, right? Not enough beds. Although we're making beds as fast as we can, we're getting ships coming into the harbor, we're doing all that good stuff. Good. We're actually, making some progress on the beds, but still won't be enough soon from my math. And I have simple math, so I could be wrong. But let's say we do have enough beds, then we don't have enough ventilators, obviously, right? So, and there's a whole bunch of stuff in the news. I'm not following all of it. People blaming each other about the ventilators. Who's got the ventilators? Oh, we're storing them over here until we need them, and all this stuff. It's like, show me the ventilators. I'm not buying any of that, right? Show me the ventilators, or I don't think you've got them. And if you've got them, you better get them out like right now because you're going to need them tomorrow. So, anyway. So if you get on a ventilator, let's say you're lucky enough to get a bed in the hospital. Let's say you're lucky enough to get a ventilator. And I say lucky enough because, the odds of that are super low. But that's best case scenario if you're the 5%. That's best case scenario is you get a ventilator. Otherwise, you're sent home to do breathing exercises and hopefully you'll recover because they look at you and the doctors think, yeah, you're in better shape than these guys, so you can go home. So you die in the peace of your own living room without a ventilator. But best case scenario, you get a ventilator, okay? And so the chance of survival I looked at here is 70 to 86% death rate on a ventilator. So you can do the math on that. Your chance of survival is pretty low, right? I mean, it's possible. People are doing it all the time. And that's what we see in the news. So people are winning. That's good, but it's definitely not in your favor, right? If I was rolling dice and I could win a pile of money, if I got the 14% or up to 30%, or I die, nobody would be dialing those dice, right? No way. So, and the really sad thing about this is that the people that go into the hospital are going to be going in by themselves, right? The people that go in are going to be our seniors mostly, and the people that are not in the best shape and that already have some underlying health conditions. But if those are your relatives, if those are your friends, you're not in there with them, right? That ship has sailed. You don't get to go in there and hold their hand to the very end, right? Nope. That's not going to happen. So, I mean, what are they going to dress you in a hazmat suit and march you in there? I don't think so. So, yeah, think about that. So, yeah, so the best is yet to come. I think death rates are going to skyrocket after this and go up a lot. I feel bad for the healthcare providers as well. I think that we really need to try to protect them. The other bit of math that I saw was, they said this is 100% more deadly than the flu. I don't know if that's right, but maybe I'm off by a little bit, right? Maybe I'm off by 10, 20, 50%, right? But I'm not that far off. So people need to take this seriously, right? I still see some people out there not social distancing. I still see people out there, not really doing the best thing they can do to not get this. So please just be careful out there. Do your social distancing. Do whatever you need to do to keep safe, and especially keep your seniors safe. And hopefully we'll all get through this in one piece. So we need to prepare, right? You need to get ready for the next couple months. This is not going to be done in a couple weeks. You are not going back to work in a couple weeks, right? This is the long haul. So I'd be lying to you if I said this is going to be, the worst would be done in 2 weeks, like we see all over the news, right? No, that's not true. So if you want to figure out what's going on, do a trend analysis, right? You don't have to be a data scientist. You don't have to be good at math. I'm not good at math, right? Just look at the chart, right? People do this all the time when they're buying stock. They look at the chart and they go, oh, yeah, it's going up. It's probably a good one. Well, look at the chart right now for Corona, right? It's a hockey stick, and we're on the wrong end of it. So think about that. Think about that when you're a little too close to the next person. So, and before I end, one more thing. So there was some stuff in the news today, which was, again, fake news, where they were saying that this was not an airborne virus, or that you could be 1 meter apart from people and you'd be totally safe, and all this nonsense, right? And this is part of the reason why so many people now are infected. Don't be anywhere near somebody else outside your home, right? Just don't do that. There's research coming out of China, and I don't trust everything I read, of course, but they're saying that it's highly infectious, and there's lots of research studies on this. Go read some of those. Highly infectious, highly airborne, stays in the air for much longer than some of our organizations, some of our authorities are saying. And let's say I'm wrong about that. Let's say that it doesn't. Let's say it's not airborne, and let's say that it just, the particles just immediately fall to gravity, which is impossible, but let's just pretend that. Wouldn't it still be a good idea just to be safe, just to keep a little distance, just in case, right? I mean, we do a lot of things just in case. Why don't you do this one just in case I'm right? Well, because I am, but pretend I'm not if you want. So, yeah. Anyway, that's it. And now I get my beer. So stay safe, safe travels. See you later.